right, welcome to another episode of Smoke Shop and Chop. Thank y'all for tuning in. First of all, we'd like to thank Drink Life Water and all the other sponsors that we have. Shout out to Red Stripe. Shout out to, what you got? Heineken. And I'm Quentin. This is Stan the Man. This is Money Road. That's Poom Bear. And that Fat Cat. That's a
Sweetback.
Sweetback. That's Sweetback. And this is Sidekick Chris. How everybody doing tonight, man?
Good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So we're gonna start it off by we're gonna go around and everybody gonna talk about, the cigar we're gonna smoke. We're gonna light up and get this thing started, man.
Yes, sir.
Cigar we smoking or just light?
You can. However you want to do it. I mean, it's best to say what you're smoking, at least what you're smoking, and then as you're going along, then we just go through that like that.
I'm actually smoking Amazon Basin. I haven't had one in a while, but when I did, one of the first few times I did have it, I enjoyed it. So I'm looking for that same experience.
I'm smoking a Grand Habano. I'm smoking a Leaf by Oscar.
Great stick.
I'm smoking the Perdomo Select.
Good stick.
Good stick.
Me, Tabernacle. Foundation Cigar Company.
And
Gurkha, 18-year-old, oak age. Samesies.
There we go.
Who's the sidekick now?
That's the right. That's the King of Persia that everybody been talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
but I actually had that.
That's what's up. All right, so let's get these things lit up so we can, let's see what's going on with this thing.
Yeah,
I need a lighter.
No, we're gonna work our way around.
you got it right
We're gonna work
there.
our way around.
My bad.
Oh no, you good.
For next week, we would definitely have more lighters for next week.
Y'all got my today.
Any lighter sponsors out there?
Yeah, hook us up.
Please.
Zycar, holla at us. But actually, there's a Zycar rep that comes in here, Fat Boy. There's a Zycar rep that comes in here. Matter of fact, I might need to reach out to him. Yeah.
Sort of like a new baby.
I hear it.
I need to cut it.
Huh?
No, you don't know what you
No question. No question. Listen, I know how to do that.
I actually need to cut mine, but I'll cut it when it comes around.
I think Pumi has a punch on the back of this.
I want to cut. I'm gonna cut it.
Okay,
That's
right.
good.
Is that how you're supposed to do that?
Yeah, I really
Use like the
prefer.
whole thing?
What you just did?
There's like a paper on it. Oh, okay. And he just with the whole thing.
Look at the fence. I need the.
You don't know what you're doing, so I'm talking about my stuff, right?
I ain't say. I just said get it like the
Yeah.
fence. I ain't
Thank you,
say
sir.
not one negative thing about it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It was a tone in your voice.
Positive vibes coming.
It was a tone in your voice.
Only
I'm
positive
tired. I'm
vibe.
tired.
Hey, so let's keep it rocking. So,
Thank you.
Hey, before we get started, I like the as far as family values.
I'm feeling this one.
What how was everybody's day? Stressful, because mine.
It was good.
It was good.
Hey,
Mine.
nice mellow little, what was it, Wednesday? Nice mellow little Wednesday.
Hey,
You think about it?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny as hell? You see the commercial about the individuals that's the day they talk about the MGM casino. It's
yeah.
we don't supposed to have this much fun. And it's like Monday's walking around all gloomy.
yeah.
It's like, wake up, Monday, what's wrong with you? He said, oh, no, I'm supposed to be having this fun. It was kind of cool, quirky commercial, whatever.
You know who Wednesday is?
Fuck you, man. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am
I mean,
sorry.
you're talking about the commercial. I asked you a question. I
I
wasn't
am
trying
sorry.
to be smart.
I am sorry.
No, but the lady on Wednesday, the actress who represents Wednesday is real estate, and she says, I don't like being called Hump Day.
That's funny.
Hey.
so you were saying, who was the Wednesday lady?
The Wednesday, she
we
walks around looking like a librarian, and she's like, you know what? How would you like to be called Hump Day or something like that? But that whole series of commercials. See, I have a thing. I think all of the most creative commercials like that, the people who write them smoke weed. because normal people, like my son comes to me, Dad, oh, they smoking weed. Normal people just can't think of someone. Like, look at those.
So your
guys.
son is off the random asks you, is somebody smoking weed?
No,
it's a
because when he's making fun of me,
cool,
because
right?
he's saying I'm being judgmental of creative people. I can't
It's not
judge.
Oh,
showing
man.
out, baby.
He's saying I don't know how to judge creative people.
Ice.
Ice. Ice.
I brought you guys some
Root
news.
beer.
Oh, again, too,
It's,
man.
so the producer of Nitro Circus
Okay.
has a side hustle
Okay.
with Rob Deerdick from Fantasy Factory,
All right.
and they have created Black Feather Whiskey.
Okay.
You can't get this in Maryland.
My man.
This is the 379th bottle ever made.
Oh man, that's what's up, man. Good look.
It's
Shout out to Black
Feather.
Feather.
It's 3 years aged right now.
Okay.
But it's already winning awards,
Right,
as you
there
can
you
see
go.
on the bottle.
My man.
And it's a double blind. It's not a politic contest. It's double blind. Like
Okay.
they don't know what's what.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then this one.
Okay.
That's
So
what's up.
Oh, man,
yeah,
that's a good look.
they're one of the people that take care of me. So I like
question, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll take care of them
And
today.
we will take care of the
We'll
model.
take care of you today, Black Feather.
Hey, great show. That ridiculousness is
Yeah.
a
Oh,
funny
this
ass
is
show.
funny as hell, man.
Hope you guys enjoy.
And by the way, shout out to Looney Bands.
Yeah.
Shout out to Looney Bands. You know,
Looney
big time.
Bands.
He's one of the pit masters. He's one of the pit masters.
Yes,
or
sir.
he's the pit master.
He does it, man.
The pit master is Chris. Up there, man. Listen, do yourself a favor. Get yourself some of that brisket. It's not to be played with. It is delicious. It is scrumptious. And I'm telling you, it will melt in your mouth.
Don't cheat yourself.
What
Treat
is
yourself.
what secrets can you divulge on how to cook a perfect brisket?
Perfect brisket.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you got to treat it right and take your time.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main part about
What
it.
temperature for how long?
Well, you don't ever want to cook over 220.
Correct.
220 is about the max you want to
Go low,
go.
baby.
And there's a big debate now because
It's
like
a huge debate.
there's guys that like to cook fast. I personally
Thank
can't
you,
do
baby.
it. If I try to cook hot and fast, I'll mess it up.
So, on that topic, it's funny you said that because I was just talking to one of my buddies last night. He called me, yes please, Lou. And he was talking about, yeah, I just took this course and this guy's cooking at 310. Yeah,
310. That's
which
insane.
That's high. That's
I don't
really,
even
really
cook
high.
ribs
It
that
doesn't sound
high.
like a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 310 is
Well, let me ask you this. How much difference do you think it makes with the equipment that you guys have as opposed to
Equipment doesn't
just a regular
It just makes it
grill?
easier.
yeah, it makes it repeatable.
You can do it out of a trash can, a steel
Good
trash
job,
can,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
No problem. It just, you have to babysit the fire, okay, because you have to regulate the temp. It doesn't matter what you're cooking in, as long as you can regulate temp.
Yeah.
Cheers,
You're
cheers to
good.
Black
Hey, cheers,
Feather.
boys.
Rob Deerdick.
Cheers to Black
Yeah.
Feather.
Oh, hold up.
Sure.
I missed it. I'm sorry. Cheers. I'm gonna give me some.
yeah, I
I'm
get
gonna give me
some.
some.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Let me
Salute.
know what
Salute.
Oh, we can't forget the hostess hosting the
Ribs.
Shout out to a Philly
Ribs.
Cigar Lounge.
How high? What
Absolutely.
temperature is a good temperature to cook with?
Between 250 and 275.
275. Ribeye steak. I'm trying to get as much of this as I can.
All right.
Different story.
See, I like the
Ribeyes.
reverse sear method.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer sear my
Yeah.
ribeye.
I put it in a pan that's very, very hot.
Yeah.
And then put it in the.
So you do the
Sear
sear.
it off and then put it in the
Yeah.
oven.
It's the,
Yeah,
the
that's what
traditional
works here,
sear, traditional sear. What I do is reverse sear. I bring it to temp in my smoker because I like a smoked ribeye.
Oh man.
Oh man!
yeah. They're really good.
But like, so you want to season your steak, and you want to get a nice thick one for reverse sear. Like you want a thick ribeye, and then what you do is you put it in my smoker is what I do for about 270, just to where it gets like that mallard color. You don't want it to pick up any crust or charring in that process. You just want to bring it to temp, so it's like I bring it to like a rare temp, like a real nice rare, like where rare is starting, and then I pull it off, and then I sear it on a cast iron, like and like two-sided, and then maybe get a little edging. But then I personally like to put it in my oven with some gorgonzola cheese on top, and then I get it real high, right up on that heating element, and it browns that cheese, and then brings it to the perfect medium rare, and then I pull it out and I drizzle it balsamic glaze.
See, when I do mine, I put it. I just do off center, off the heat.
Okay,
and
so
then
yeah, indirect.
try indirect heat, and then I sear it.
Yeah.
Or I'll add some more coals to get the fire going, and then I'll throw it on and sear it on the grill.
That's how you do it, man. Because the best part about reverse sear is that it's from edge to edge. your cooking temp that you're shooting for, like your rare, medium rare. It's that same doneness throughout. When you sear, you have the browning, and then it slightly turns into, pink and then red, and then wherever you want to be in the middle. But when you reverse sear, it's edge to edge. I mean, it is fire. And then I like to dust it with a little sea salt. Like maybe even like a coffee sea salt. Yeah.
Coffee, sea salt?
Yeah.
That irritates me. I just threw away my grill, smoker, and all that. I said, you know what? I'm not dealing with it anymore. It's a long story. I just got tired of it. I got tired of my wife telling me she was tired of looking at it, so I threw it away.
It's a good thing you threw it away, because if you don't have a Traeger, shout out to
Oh
Traeger.
man,
Yeah.
is it really worth getting?
Oh my God.
Okay, I
You
got
said
it.
a Traeger?
Traeger.
Yeah. Traeger pellet grill.
That's a brand. It's a brand, but
Yeah.
it's well worth it. The
I'm on the
lowest one
So,
I've
so
seen is
I've heard a lot of people talk about pellet grills. You like your pellet grill?
Dude, I swear, I promise you, I'll cook a brisket in my Traeger, and then I'll cook it on any other smoker you want me to cook it on, and I promise you won't be able to tell the difference.
And that's what I use also as a pellet smoker.
I haven't tried. 'Cause I'm looking for a new grill right now, and
I have 3 different smokers. 2 of them are Big Green Eggs, and one.
How you like the green egg?
Love them, but they take a lot of. You have to keep a lookout.
Babysit, yeah.
You do, unless you have a controller, which I have a controller for mine, so I can repeat my processes. I always want to be able to be consistent and repeat the same thing. So I'm super.
What about
just-
electric smokers?
They work.
They work. They'll
Yeah.
smoke.
They
See,
work.
what I like best about Traeger, it doesn't matter if it's middle of summer or the middle of winter. It regulates temp. I ain't got to babysit nothing. The only time
That's my please.
the only time I got to do anything, put more pellets in.
Yeah.
That's my joint. That
That's it.
sounds
That's
good.
literally it. And that's
So,
what I
and that's the
use
thing
most of
about
the
when
time.
you're using a smoker, when you're using wood and charcoal, like when you add wood or charcoal,
The temperature goes
the temperature shoots up.
But not only that, you gotta be careful because it's not, you're not smoke at that point because it's fire.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure you get your logs going enough to where they're going, but then kind of bring them down a little bit so it's not flame. Because then you're cooking with actual heat instead of like a warmth and a smoke. So you can't have like smoke with big ass flame.
No. And I mean,
Well, that's what's so labor intensive when I smoke is that I don't add enough for it to become a big flame, just to keep it going.
so that's the beauty of this.
Joe, give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Hey, just to let Facebook know, hey, we having a little difficulties with Facebook, but we'll be back up and running in a second. Okay, we back. He set me up for failure. Don't worry about it. So go ahead.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the pellet cooker though, is that literally all you have to do is add pellets. It doesn't matter. There's some tricks you can do to use less pellets, like you can get blankets for them and stuff like that. But it doesn't affect the cook. As long as you have enough pellets, you're gonna get it cooked.
Don't the Traeger don't it automatically?
Yep, and automatically feeds. Yeah,
So what is the you keep saying pellets? What is the pellets?
they're compressed wood,
Okay.
and the good ones are all natural, compressed wood, no chemicals. Anything like
Do they
that.
come in flavor?
Yeah,
they come in
every
flavor.
flavor you can
And I was in the store looking at one of
Yeah.
those, and I say I don't want to burn the house down.
it says worth the buy.
You know,
Yeah, you ain't gotta worry about burning no hot
I
down.
grill mine on George Foreman. Shout out to George Foreman Grill.
You make a brisket on a George Foreman?
Hey,
no,
man,
best-
listen,
best
I make a
cheese
brisket.
Have you seen
Hey,
George
listen.
Foreman that big?
I'm gonna tell you. I make brisket. I make me y'all ever had fried pizza? Leave it, I'm BSing, man. It's all good. That's good to know, though. That's good information.
Yeah.
Good information. I appreciate it.
And a big mistake as far as briskets is just a quick little. If you're using a high grade brisket, something that you should be cooking, something with some marbling, don't skip on a brisket. Don't go out and buy a store bought, flat. Like, don't cook just a flat.
I don't like
Whole
flat.
brisket.
Yeah.
Cook a whole brisket and get you a good brisket. Anything from choice up. Don't cook select. Don't cook USDA. Cook choice and up. And then
Makes a difference.
a big mistake that people do is they pull it off too early, thinking it's overdone because it's still
is.
tough. But you haven't broken down
It
the
is.
fat. Is all it is.
Okay.
When the fat breaks down,
Crystal clear.
real good, like our briskets that we use, they're Wagyu, and they'll actually feel like a titty.
Okay.
And of course,
And I love a titty.
Yes.
And I love.
I'm about to go get one of your briskets right now.
I got you, man.
About to go get-
Shit, what time is it?
I thought you about to pull something
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
car. There you go.
Excuse me, just bathroom. I apologize.
You good?
You say it feels like a titty. Does it have a nipple on it?
Nah, I mean, you can cut one, like
I mean,
in
you
a
can say
trim
there's
process.
a point.
Shout out to nipples.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it over here.
Shout out to Nibble, because without him, titties would be pointless.
Titties would be pointless. Titties would not have a point, man.
Be sitting like 2 punching bags.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good tip that I can throw out there. Is that a lot of people don't take them to where they should be. They think that they're too done, and they're actually not done enough.
And we have a couple of different techniques we use for telling when they're done. But a good one for the average person, if they're just starting out, is you can probe it. If that probe,
What
you can take
temperature
a
should it
probe,
be?
and you don't have to worry about the temperature. It's when that probe comes out, like it's butter.
It
When
should
you
go
say
in and out.
oh, you
It's
mean
butter.
like you go to the store and buy the probes and they
Yeah,
order the.
like just your thermometer has a probe on it. You can put that in,
And
blow
you-
it out.
So you use Japanese Wagyu or American Wagyu? Which you-
American Wagyu. American.
Japanese.
Well, I mean, if I could use Japanese Wagyu, I'd be out to,
And the brisket would cost $39 a half a
Oh,
pound.
no, not even close.
$39 probably an ounce.
An ounce,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they said that is super expensive.
If I was to cook an actual, for real, Kobe, like a not even A5, like A3 and 4, if I was to cook a whole brisket, it'd probably cost $750, $800. Wow.
I know that when at Bourbon Steak they have A5
Excuse me, gentlemen.
and it's $36 an ounce.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
But I would think the brisket would be cheaper because it's brisket. Like it's
Well,
Nah.
brisket.
maybe
it used
we're
to be a
talking about-
throwaway
I was
part,
about,
you
just
know.
about to say, if we're talking back in the day,
Yeah.
like that's why, it's so funny that brisket makes such a comeback because it was a throwaway part,
Because it was so
Nobody
tough.
wanted it. Yeah, they were like, oh, what are we going to do with this? But then they figured out you can do amazing things with a brisket. It's literally one of my favorite parts.
It's
Like,
my
too,
favorite.
The thing I
Yeah.
like about brisket, it has that beefy.
Yeah.
Oh, super
Well,
beefy.
because of
it
its
has that
use.
Yeah.
beefy taste.
It's because of its use. It's the main part of the cow, and it's all right here. It's part of the cow that just gets used the most. When they're standing,
Yeah.
it's just one side or the other. A cow could be right hoofed or left hoofed, and then that also depends on the marbling throughout the tissue. Like, was it more right or left sided dominant? It'll make a lot of difference in brisket too. I mean, there's a lot of detail to making a good brisket. And Chris knows this more than anybody. He does competitions. I ain't even done competitions. Okay. Chris actually competes.
Mine's
Yeah,
fine.
so it's completely different. Like competition brisket,
I'm
completely
gonna use it
different.
for my
It's
drink club.
cooked. He does.
I can drink water with ice. I don't have to put booze on ice.
They cook it fat side down. You were talking about fat side down, and you're looking for different things. You're looking for a certain bend. You're looking for color. You're not cooking for what we like to eat.
Flavor.
We're cooking for judges, and I'll probably get yelled at for this, but that's what you're doing. You're cooking for a judge. You're cooking
So you
for
say
a
in the
specific
competitions you have to cook the fat side down?
fat side down, have to, because it doesn't, you don't have the right setup to render it right, and it'll break down way too much. You won't get the proper bend, you won't have the proper smoke rate, you won't have the proper color.
So normally you would cook the fat side up.
That's how
side
yeah,
up,
if I'm
yeah.
looking for people I like,
Because
it makes it-
not judges.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
thought.
If I'm cooking for people I like and not judges, I'm cooking the fat side.
So tell me, so when you say when I'm cooking for people not judges, so judges are not basing this off taste and flavor?
So the problem, not the problem, but the way all the competitions work is the judges take a course, and they're told what to look for and what it should taste like. What a good brisket. And I don't know how they're doing this, like sample wise, but there's something they're looking for. If you don't have that, you're not winning.
I would say when you text them, they're not looking for taste, they're just looking for
They are.
texture.
They are. They are looking for taste, but there's appearance. There's your box appearance, the way the brisket actually looks, the actual bend in the brisket. It can't break. It has to bend over like a finger, but not break. So there's all these little things they're looking for, and then taste is kind of like, oh yeah, it tastes good too.
Okay.
It has, but it has to taste
So let
amazing.
me-
They're using Wagyu also.
Let me ask you this: are you all just salt and pepper on your brisket, or do you do other things?
Now
on
you're
your-
talking for what we do or what competition does?
You. I'm asking you personally.
Oh, I'm simple. I'm really simple. Salt, pepper, garlic.
Salt and pepper.
Salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic.
I have a rub that I use. It's like puts a ton of flavor on it, and it's awesome.
Well, share it.
I will. I'll make. I was gonna make a brisket in like a week, and I'll bring
About
some.
competition.
You got brown sugar in your rub.
Hey,
Brown sugar, cumin.
One second.
Excuse me,
Red
Jim.
pepper.
Excuse me. Facebook Live, we apologize. We had a little technical difficulty, but we are up and running. There is sound. Everything's being recorded. We do appreciate your patience, and thanks for watching.
We're gonna take a break from there for cigar check-in. All right.
My Gurkha, it's nice. It's okay.
Easy smoke.
Easy smoke.
Yeah, very easy smoke. Burning well. Digging it. It's pretty even.
First time you had it?
Yeah.
First time, yeah.
My tab, it starts off okay, but it gets better. To me, it gets better as it goes. We get a lot of flavor, pepper. It's just great smoke.
My Palermo cabinet selection, God, it's broke my ass. That's what I'm trying not to do. But it's real spicy. Yeah, go ahead. It's spicy, real spicy. Smooth, gives you a nice little feel on the lips. You know what I mean? It's not feel rough like it won't give you that same feeling of the Rustica. You know, Rustica feel like, remind me of Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Rustica, the nickel Rustica,
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it's a rough feel on the lips. It's not a bad stick, but it's just no, you gotta rough mind.
The nickel
Rustica,
Rustica.
the nickels, and
I got one in the house.
oaky, but smooth. Now I don't want you to think that I really know what I'm talking about. I read that on the sign that had it on there. But
You
That's the first time you
know
smoked
what
it?
he's talking about.
this is the first time I smoked this. This is a really good smoke.
What is it again, Q?
It's the Perdomo
That is
cabinet
a
selection,
great smoke.
and they have the Habano Maduro and the sun grown.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that is a great smoke.
Yeah.
That is a great smoke.
It's a really good smoke. You will enjoy this cigar.
Okay, the Oscar, it's an Oscar. It's a great smoke, smooth, a little on the plus side of medium. Not very spicy. I guess I would say a little leathery, if that's an expression, but I just like it. And I think for the average smoker, it fits the bill. It fits the bill. You'll be happy if you get it.
Now, I actually met Oscar. Matter of fact, I
Yeah.
put the page on I put the photo on the thing. At one point, all of us was digging the cigar because we also play poker. And at that one night at the poker table, it's 10 people, and 8 people are smoking lead by Oscar, man. It is a great stick.
It's a good
I didn't mean to pick back on
No,
your
no,
thing, but
no.
yeah, it is a
You're right. I
really good
remember that.
stick.
In fact, yeah. Southern.
Actually, like the 2012 was my best.
I really
it was
like
a great one.
Oh, the 2012 was,
2012 was
listen,
the best one
The
to me.
2012.
The 2012 was
Because
amazing.
when he came here, he didn't have any 2012s. I'm sorry, he was not putting any 2012s in, but he brought some with
Yeah,
him,
he just released it.
and he gave a couple man this great
Great stick. Great
See,
stick.
and I like this better. I know Fats, when the 2012 came out, he was telling me about it. I like this better than the 2012. Not that the 2012 was a bad stick, but I just
You just like the taste of leather in your mouth. I understand. That's what you should.
maybe, just maybe, because I'm a donkey.
And I do also want to say, this is pairing very well.
I just man.
Black.
Listen,
Hey,
you stole
hey,
my
hey,
thunder.
this
You
jump
stole my
is-
thunder.
Yeah.
You stole my thunder.
I was about to hold the bottle of
Hey,
everything.
that's what I was about to do. I was about to
You
say.
stole my thunder.
We can edit.
Can we edit?
I'm gonna edit that out. Do your
Because
thing. Do
what
your
I
thing.
was gonna say is, this Grand Habano is so smooth. It's not a ton of flavor, but it's very smooth for an experienced cigar smoker or a novice. But paired with this black feather, which is silky smooth and on ice, it's unbelievable.
That's real.
And if you're looking for a 6'5", light-skinned, handsome salesman from Washington D.C., because you can't get it in Maryland, but can you get it in D.C.?
I don't think so.
Problem.
Not yet.
It's a baby brand right now.
Not yet.
Well, I know some people that know some people.
And I like
That
that.
knows
So-
some people.
That know some
That
people.
knows some people.
But no, the Grand Habano is awesome. I like it a lot. This is not my first time smoking it. The price point for the quality of stick that this is it just tops it out. It boosts the overall quality. And plus with this black feather, the black feather is awesome. I need some more ice. I'm on round 3.
Yeah, but
Tell him to say please.
Please and thank you.
of
But
course.
my grandmother used to tell me that real love means never having to say please and thank you.
I don't know about
Okay, yeah, I don't know about that. In
I always
my grandmother's
I
house,
always say, because I
I
always
would've
thought
got
real
your
love
ass
was not
slapped.
having to ask you
No.
for a blowjob.
No,
But go ahead.
listen.
Keep going.
That's what she would tell me. She told me to do so much. I said, you didn't say please. She said, real love means not having to say please and thank you. And slap the shit out of me. Not gonna do
That's
it.
my grandmother. That's my
Now
grandmother.
that explains some of the problems that you had. See, by telling me that story, I now understand you better. My man, I can empathize with you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but this Basin, of course, is just as I remember, the great stick. I enjoy it from the beginning. As I remember to the end. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. Before I got into smoking a stronger cigar, this probably was like one of my first medium to strong.
Boulder.
There we go. I like that. Sweet back, I tell you, man.
Hey, we got to add the caveat that he's not that far for smoking black and miles.
I've never had one in my life. Never.
He's not that far.
I
The
promise.
first time I ever saw him at a Philly, he came in with a pack of Philly blunts
That's the story.
and opened up the Philly blunts.
Some white owls.
But the piggyback on with
And said, "Do you want one? I got 5 cigars."
Mumpy.
Darnelli.
The piggyback on what Mumpy said, this is an excellent bourbon whiskey. And the crazy thing about it is, the black crow, it has a lot. We'll talk about that. It's black feather, but it's a crow. And we'll talk about that later off camera.
Do you know that's a crow or that could be a raven? You don't know what it is.
Well, no, because he actually has a he actually has a brand that he does with shirts called Black Crow Inc.
On to the beer.
Feathers.
Same thing with the beer. It's called Black Crow Brewing Company. Again, we'll talk about that later. But it's a great thing, man. It's a great smoke. Yeah, I enjoy it.
I feel like my review was lackluster.
No, you good, man. No, you good to go.
Hey, listen.
Added to it.
He did. I'm not sure.
Hey, what's my man's name?
So
Rob Dearden.
Hey, Rob.
and Jeremy Ross.
Hey, Rob and Jeremy.
Rock. Okay.
And he y'all friend.
Yeah. So
that's
Jeremy
what's up.
actually birthed it. He's the original producer of Nitro Circus.
Shout out to Nitro. So y'all some. Hey man, did y'all jump a scooter and do the 360 with the scooter?
Not a 360.
Well,
But backflip.
That shit was wild as hell.
Yeah, with the
I'm
scooter?
sorry. With
Yeah.
the scooter. It's
trying
just
to
something that
think.
looked like a little boat.
They do that bunch.
That's crazy as hell.
They do a
You
bunch of
got
stuff.
to watch what you tell him, because he was over there trying to do tricks on a metro bus the other day. You know what I'm saying?
We can.
I saw.
Let's hang out.
Let's do it.
They actually jumped
You don't want to do that.
at 18 wheeler.
You're gonna get him hurt.
They
get you
had
hurt.
a semi.
I promise you, I know how to
Big
say
trucks.
no.
Yeah, they jumped.
okay.
I know how to say no.
Get you hurt.
They jumped over the 18-wheeler.
Well, they
No,
made
they
they
took
made-
a truck.
What
They
is it?
took a truck on Nitro. If you go watch Nitro Circus 1, it is on Netflix. The Nitro Circus 1.
That's a movie, yeah.
I saw that on Netflix. So the dude who had the truck jumping record, brother, decided he wanted to try to break his record. So they was jumping from the distance is what they were jumping is the distance.
150
Man,
feet.
The truck hits the thing and completely flips over, completely just. Man, I mean, just destroyed. It just fell apart, man. And it was just crazy that the dude wasn't hurt, man. But he
I bet you
jumped
can do
out.
that on the X2.
When you say a truck, you mean
A tractor.
semi.
Yeah.
Tractor.
You trying to jump a semi?
No, he
50,
jumped.
no,
it.
the
He
semi
jumped
did
it.
the
50
jumping.
yards.
A tractor.
Did it have a trailer on the back?
No, it didn't have.
No.
God, no wonder you got slapped all the time.
I'm just
He was ready
asking.
to slap us.
Oh,
That's the CTE, man, kicking that, man.
The CTE.
a trail.
That is my
What the hell
CTE.
did you think that was Santa Claus or something?
I don't know. I gotta ask.
Stan, can you say that?
The CTE.
He got the CTE.
I do.
Come on, folks. I should have loved.
The CTE ice over here.
I need some of that.
Hey, not to make light of that shit. That shit real.
It's real.
That's real shit, man.
It is
But
real.
You're not gonna make light of it.
What?
By him playing professional football,
And
you know.
Hey, next time you walk through here,
You know,
walk,
and
walk,
like you say,
walk front
your
first.
friends that
Walk
succumb
first
to
me.
it, and others that succumb to that, man, that's real stuff. CTE. So you're not gonna make light of that shit.
Yeah.
I might have got it from the
you
from the
can't-
ass whoopings from Frida Jones.
If
God
you
rest her
can't-
soul.
If you can't laugh in death's face, who can you laugh at?
My man.
Fuck him.
I can find better things to laugh at. But
Hey,
I'm with
that's
you.
why it's Sweetback.
Sweetback said, "Fuck him." Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's real
Have
shit.
you seen any of his stuff?
Man, listen. I went and watched some of that stuff, and I just was shaking my head, man.
Crazy, right?
Oh, but hey, it ain't too far from Willie Bobby over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Willie Bobby, the back wheel 160, 180.
Oh, okay.
I heard Bobby got skills.
Oh, world renowned. That's no joke. That's no joke. Yeah, you know he drives so fast that the tire gets skinny. Yeah, Willie Bobby.
It's gonna be a good summer, Bobby.
I've raised Bobby.
We gonna ride, shoot guns, eat meat, smoke cigars.
Wait a minute.
You're gonna have to learn how to say no homo.
I ain't got to say it because I know I ain't got to say it.
Did you see the Boondocks?
Wait a minute.
Skit? The little dudes.
His grandfather said,
It's
"Paul."
gonna be an interesting summer.
Look, man.
Hey, look, nobody worry about that shit.
But since you brought up shooting,
Yeah.
I was talking to Bobby, and he was telling me that, and we were discussing earlier, that you hit that disc
Yeah.
from like a mile out with a 50 cal.
Hit a 4-inch plate. What we like to do is we call it the hostage target
Okay.
because it's a silhouette steel target about the size of a torso, about that big.
You ain't used to your torso, is you?
No,
Okay.
it's a steel torso.
That's a wide target.
That's a wide.
It's made like I don't think any
Makes it not that impressive anymore.
It don't matter how big the silhouette is. now,
Yeah.
Because the target that we're shooting at is a 4-inch plate to the side of the head.
Yeah.
And it swings when you hit it, so you can shoot it back and forth and not hit the silhouette. That's why it's a hostage target, because if somebody takes hostage, you ain't gonna get but that big of a spot to shoot at.
And the 50 cows will destroy the hostage.
And a half mile, it didn't move, and I was like, man, I know I hit that
He said the
thing.
hostage.
We walked out. We walked out to go see if I hit it or not, and it didn't move. My 50, and this is actual, like, for real, like you shoot at it steel, 550 is what it's rated. So like it's rated for a 50, but I forgot that I was using AP rounds, and
What are AP rounds?
armor piercing.
So it just went
It went through it.
Zipped right through it. Didn't even move.
Wow.
Like I was like, man, no, I hit that thing. We walked half a mile because they were like, bullshit. And yeah.
So you couldn't see the hole from your scope?
Not half a
Nah,
mile.
hell no, man. No, man. You just
You're talking about
Listen, I'm not. Listen, first
You
of all,
don't know. If you
I
don't
grew up
know,
in
it's
I grew up
okay.
in D.C. We didn't do hunting. We didn't do none of that shit. I don't know about. I remember when I was
father
a,
hunted.
you used to seeing bullet holes from up close.
when I was a freshman in East Carolina. I play offensive line, so we had a lot of big white guys
Corn-fed white
who who they were like, man, we going hunting, and so we would do things as a line. We would go to dinner. They were like, we going hunting. And so we went to one dude's house. He had like all these guns, and shotguns and rifles and this that, and I was like,
Rifles heavy as hell.
cool.
I was like, man, fuck that, give me the 45. And they're like, you can't go hunting with a 45. I was like, listen,
Well, bro.
I'm hunting wabbit.
I was like, I'm not certain that when we get out there, one of you crazy motherfuckers not gonna shoot me because I done took two of you spots. So I'm gonna take this 45, and then they got mad at me because I was shooting at squirrels and every like, bah, 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 bah. They're like, you stop
being
shooting.
quiet.
Huh?
You were being quiet.
No, fuck that. Like, we're out there drinking and fucking hunting. Like, who gives a fuck about killing something?
The coolest on the my man. Let's
Damn.
go. He's bad as me in one sentence, right?
Pull me.
Well, I know who you don't want to go hunting with, and that's Dick Cheney. You don't want to go hunting for Dick
That's a
Cheney.
good idea.
That's what I thought they was gonna try to Dick Cheney me. That's why I said let me get the 45 because that's easy. If I see one of them rifles swing my
something
way,
slick, yeah.
I can shoot it. I can shoot back.
I shot a turkey in the face with a 45 one time.
I just
My
gotta
man,
ask you this
keep
one.
going.
Call me
This is
wild.
too bad.
Call me wild.
What made
Like I
you
did.
think you were going to hit a squirrel with a 45?
He attacked me.
I did. I shot the fuck
What
out
was
the
left?
squirrel.
What was left of the squirrel after you hit him with
Not
a
much.
45?
The tail.
But he wasn't trying to eat it. Like my father eats squirrel, rabbit.
I wasn't listen.
raccoon,
First of all,
that
I wasn't gonna eat anything that they shot out there. If I came buy my shit from the supermarket, I don't want it.
Like my
Shit.
mother.
I don't
Yeah,
want
good
it.
it is when you take
Good
it.
eating.
Huh?
You missing out on some good.
Now listen. That's at 18. When I was older,
Right, I got it.
I went to South Africa and they killed a cow. And we cooked the cow. Like they killed it, they let it drain for about 6 hours, and then they cut it up and we cooked it like just on the, and they cooked a lot of the shit with nothing, like with just salt.
Yeah.
And the shit was
all you
fucking
need.
unbelievable.
I was reading something when you talk about hunting, and they were talking about some kind of disease that is beginning to grow in the deer population. It's sort of like mad cow disease or whatever. They don't have any cases of it transferring over to humans. What's the deal with that?
I don't know enough about deer.
Yeah.
What is no brisket?
Yeah.
What do you hunt when you're
I
hunting?
don't. Me personally, shooting is more like golf. I like shooting for skill and relaxation. Just knowing windage, and it's a skill thing.
I've been shooting since I was 14. I started playing golf at 48. If golf was as easy as fucking shooting,
Yeah.
I'd love it.
You ever shot long range though?
I'm about to
Only
say
in
it.
the army.
Yeah.
Only in the army.
Yeah, that's
Only
different.
the army is the only distance.
How far you guys
you-
shoot there?
In the army, you only have to shoot 325 yards. In the Marines, you have to shoot 500. I was in the army. I took the easy route.
Right.
You know.
I wouldn't say easy.
I wouldn't say easy.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank
but 325 yards. I mean, when you've been shooting, I mean,
He was a cook. You don't have to thank him.
you. Shit. Some,
Hey, he got this.
Some of them
Even
cooks
if-
got skill.
even
Some of them
if-
got skill.
He wasn't the Steven Seagal kind
let
of
me
cook.
tell you
either.
something.
I was a Steven Seagal kind of cook.
When you out in the woods and you've been in the field for 30 days eating MREs,
The cook is
the
an
cook
important
is
person.
the guy. Listen,
You said the
master
MRE.
quarter,
Meal ready to eat.
meals ready to eat. When you tactical, you combat MOS. You know, if you're not combat MOS, you eat regular food in the
But see,
what's called
and that's the difference in generation.
Yeah.
I didn't have MREs. I had C rations. You had rations.
Well, same thing, same kind of thing.
No.
MREs were just better.
MREs were better.
Break back. You know,
MREs were
listen, I agree. The
My dad's
MREs were
already
better. I
said
said that.
So the MREs didn't come in the pouch like the
The
rations?
MREs
Yeah,
in the pouch.
yeah.
Rations didn't.
Okay.
Rations are
Rations
cans.
can.
No,
Yeah.
rations came, but MREs in the pouch, and then you had different ones. You know what I mean?
I like the
MREs were
spaghetti
good.
one.
Yeah, MREs
Spaghetti
are good.
was good. I
You
had
warm
some good MREs.
Yeah, you warm an MRE up on the back of a tank
Eating things
after you've been out there, man, and you learn how to doctor it up. It all come with Tabasco sauce and all the little things in there, man. But it's really, really good. You get
Tastes like a gourmet meal, huh?
Yeah, oh man. So you know, it's the when you in the field like that, the most important guy is is your food guy, your cafeteria guy, and your quartermaster. Not the quartermaster, you know, but the supply dude.
guy.
Yeah, your quartermaster. Yeah, your quartermaster.
What's up, Poochie?
Here we go. You know, go ahead.
But you had, because the
Hey, Poochie.
everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to eat. So the cooks had power.
Yeah.
I had ultimate power.
Cooks and the dudes that have the socks.
Well, I was a corpsman. I can give
You're a what?
corpsman. I can give you quarters and I can give you bed rest.
Exactly.
So I trade the cooks bed rest and whatever for some coffee and some bacon. I could trade that to somebody else. Oh man. But
He had the sweet job.
The cooks had it.
Yeah, sweet job.
Oh, trust me, I was not in 11.
I was a
I
tank
was in
commander
11. Oh, you
in the
a tank
field
guy.
8-9 months out the year, man.
I'd have been friends with you. I may need a ride somewhere.
My dad was Army.
Yeah. Okay, so Lieutenant Colonel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you sounded a little proper as a mother.
That's what I was gonna say. I have my mom. So my mom.
Yeah, he sounded like a colonel, son.
My mom is or was a PG County principal
Okay.
for many years.
Okay.
My dad was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. So
Yeah.
only way, this is the only way I could come.
No question. No question.
Good
You
job.
got discipline a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. A lot.
You ain't get away with nothing.
No. Well, yeah. Nothing.
Right. Nothing.
And that's the story stick to. That's the story stick to.
We're gonna move into the next segment of the show. This part of the show, what we talk about is so everybody kind of goes around. It's called "That's Crazy." And so we just want you to pick your own little thing that you think is crazy, whether it's your opinion about something or whether it's just something you heard this week. You know what I mean? And you just throw it out there. People, if they want to talk about it, they can talk about it, and if they don't, they don't. You just move on to the next person. So you want to start with your "That Crazy," or you want me to start, or you can start it. I'd rather you start it.
I feel like there's.
You got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's just bouncing around my head like pinball. Man.
Anybody else ready?
I'm ready.
You want to wait your
Go
turn?
ahead.
All right, go ahead.
You know, that's what's crazy to me is this. I was listening to all the political listening to the president talk about why we need this wall because we got to protect this country and what have you. And I thought about all of the people behind him supporting it and how $5 billion, trust me, it ain't a whole lot of money in the scheme of this budget. But I'm looking how willing. What's crazy to me is he's not willing to spend $5 billion for a wall that ain't going to work. But when we talk about things that really are important, like Alzheimer's and high blood pressure and diabetes, things that are affecting millions and millions of people, there's no pushback. But we're going to spend $5 billion for a wall. So that's just crazy to me that in this great country we would do that.
So I think that what's crazy, like, just to piggyback on that, I'm not a guy that I'll say that living in DC, we're not like a border town, so illegal immigration doesn't really hit us that hard. We do have illegal immigrants here, but I'm ambivalent. I don't really care one way or the other. But I say that being an American, to me, I was just born here. I didn't do anything to be an American. Like, I was born here. That's just the luck of the draw. But you got people that walk from Guatemala. Like, what is it that you can decide, like tomorrow, you're going to just get up, pack your stuff up, and walk to Winnipeg?
Hey, it's
It's
a
nothing.
lot of sacrifice.
You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy that we feel so, that there's so much animosity towards people that want to come here when we're a nation of immigrants. That's what this nation is built on. We're a nation of immigrants. And if they can, obviously there's some that come across and do bad things, but
It's Americans here that do bad.
it's Americans that do bad things, you know what I'm saying? Drugs, they're not bringing anything to us that we don't want. If there wasn't a want for narcotics in America, they wouldn't bring them here. You know
I
what
mean,
I'm
but
saying?
that's
They're
just
not
not.
walking in
And
the
then
wall.
let's not just use that narrative like they the only person bringing drugs in here too. So
No, but I'm saying, but that's one of the things they try to frame it as.
Let me finish my point.
Thank you, sir.
Let me finish my point.
Let me talk.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. But what I'm simply saying is, if you're going to talk about that, then they have the movie out where the CIA brought crack into central Los Angeles. Is that how you say that? Central Los Angeles? Los Angeles?
Well, actually,
And then
Oakland.
Oakland specifically.
Rick Ross.
Starting to
You
open.
had
And the government did it.
And the government did it, right?
Yeah.
You had Ronald Reagan, who was one of the biggest cocaine pushers, and this man Ollie North. And this, this is all true and documented. So it's just not immigrants doing this shit. Now let's look at. I mean, I know that's
Immigrants
the
are
narrative,
the vessel.
right? That moves it. But when you're trying to move the kind of weight that they were moving,
You have to have permission.
you have to have permission to move that kind of weight. And if you saw the movie with Denzel Washington,
Oh, I knew you were bringing that
where
up.
what I can't remember the name of the movie. But he brought all the cocaine in. He was playing
American Gangster.
Frank
American
White.
Gangster.
Yeah,
He was
Frank
playing
White.
heroin. And the dude told him when he asked him how much heroin he wanted, he said, "Well, who you got backing you?" So he was like, "It's just me."
Yeah.
He was like, "You cannot bring this kind of weight in without somebody's permission." You know what I mean? And but that's the reality of things.
That's probably the only reason they really went after him.
No question.
He never
No question. He had permission.
But when we
So-
talk about the scourge of drugs, and I don't want to hijack your thing, but I was reading an article about the Sackler family. The Sackler family, they have the Sackler Gallery down with the Smithsonian. They're philanthropists, but they also are owners of Big Pharma, the company that made all the money with OxyContin. And they knew what it was doing, and they knew it was killing people, and they didn't care about it because of the profit that they were making. So you can, on one hand, talk about these people who are walking across the border, who I doubt can bring but so many drugs.
So much drugs.
If I'm a big drug smuggler, I don't think I'm walking across the border.
Yeah.
But we have people here who are making billions of dollars off of drugs. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's not. That's not the guy, you know. And if you watch the movie, Get Him to the Greek, they had
Such
the
a good
dude.
movie.
They had
Great
Noah. What's his name? Noah. What's the dude's name?
21 Kookaroo.
Yeah. Oh, 21 Kookaroo. I mean Kookaroo View.
Sergio gonna be all right.
Not bad.
That's great.
But yeah, but that's it. You know.
Go ahead, you're
I'm about to say something crazy. I was gonna say we're the Go-Go's, but nobody would get that but somebody who saw the movie. But anyway, so yeah. So did you want to say something? Or move to the next. That's crazy.
We can move on.
Nobody.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, my gripe was with the Maryland Lottery Board.
Okay.
That's crazy, boy.
What's
Crazy. What's crazy is all the people that win those big jackpots are in parts of Maryland I've never heard of.
So are
Never.
you
I'm not
thinking
saying
that
that-
it's fixed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm tired. Listen to me, damn it. I'm tired, and I understand why. Because you let Lil Ray and them win $400-500 million. They had whole Capitol Heights, District Heights lined up to Bentleys, Ferraris, Porsches, everything. I get that. All I'm saying is spread the love. And please let 1120 come out. 1120, that's my pet.
You gotta play it.
That's my pet.
Straight.
Straight.
Gotta come on straight.
Because
Shout
I
out to
want to be a
Maryland
new
Lottery.
shiny Z. Shout out to Maryland Lottery. I'm bullshitting. But no, hey, listen. Hey, but for real though, what's crazy is, man, that the poverty of the kids, man. Like I said, you know, my day job is a Metro bus driver. And it's been going on for years. You see little 6-7-year-olds taking their little 4 or 5-year-old brother and sisters to school. And how the kids are getting snatched out here these days. I mean, you know, y'all had a conversation earlier where that 7-year-old grows to be 14 and the mother may be working, may not be, but they grow up to be 14 years old, they feel like they got to take care of themselves, they clothing themselves, feeding themselves, taking care of themselves, and people, outside people that don't recognize the situation, they want to talk to them like they're an average 14-year-old. But then when they snap back at them like, I'm taking care of my damn self, an adult person be like, oh, you're a disrespectful ass little kid. That's not an average 14-year-old child.
That's grown up.
That is a grown. And we don't talk to them as they grown. And so that's where a lot of the I don't know, confusion or competitiveness come through the relationship, because you want to act and treat them like they're a regular 14-year-old, when in all actuality they experiencing things they should not have to experience at 14 years old. And so, I mean, you know, mothers to be able to get up out of bed, take your kids to school, please. Because you'll be the first one on TV, oh, that's my baby, but you let your baby be an adult. You know what I'm saying? Snotty nose, got their little brother, sister cussing like sailors. You know, coats open and, you know, lunch money spent on bags of candy.
That is
hot
so
Cheetos.
But that is so generational because
Oh, it's been going on for years.
Because I'm a little older than you, but I remember
Black motherfucker.
being 7, taking my 4-year-old sister. We lived in the 2100 block of 17th Street. My uncle lived in the we lived in the 2300 block of 17th Street. My uncle lived in the 21st and N. I would take my sister, who was 4, and walk her there for babysitting. And the other kids, I mean, it wasn't like that was unusual for my neighborhood, and everything was okay, and there was no problem.
I used to have to walk my brother from when we were from elementary, what you call it, kindergarten?
Yeah.
Pre-K was half day.
Yes.
So I would have to walk
Still
him.
is someplace.
Oh, it's
Still
okay.
is.
Yeah. So I would have to walk him. Once he got out for his half day, I would have to walk him home. And then I had to walk all the way back to school. And that was my lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, I mean, it is.
Like, I know when I was growing up, and I grew up in Bowie, at a completely different time than now, but I could do anything, anywhere, anytime, not have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't in fear for anything.
Right.
Like, that's the other thing is.
And no, but what you're saying, when you grow up as a kid in a place like Bowie, or where you when I was a kid, I didn't know about fear and things like that. Well, when you look at kids who are growing up in some of these neighborhoods that are tough, and they've seen a lot, and they have to worry about a lot, we always talk about PTSD. And I said, if I lived in Chicago, I would have PTSD. When your child walks out that door, you don't know what the hell is going to happen.
That's it.
But shit, I grew up in D.C. and I think I got PTSD because I grew up in the 80s and 90s.
You got PTSD.
I know you got
know what your
PTSD.
PTSD is?
What's that from?
Post-traumatic slavery disease.
Syndrome, actually, but it is all the same.
And like I say, to piggyback on that, man, it's like this thing here, man. It's so helpful, but it's so harmful.
Man.
I mean, the things that. Hey, man, listen. YouTube, you can do anything. The power of this thing is kids, anybody really, but just children. It's crazy, man. As good as the device it is to, to help, is that more destructive? Because let's keep it real. They don't look at, Winnie the Pooh and all that. They looking at this wild stuff. It's boondocks.
They're looking at
Shout out to
wild stuff,
boondocks, but they just whatever.
They're looking at wild things. You don't have control over the content like you used to.
Exactly.
But it also, I have this thing, I call it electronically induced learning deficit disorder, because they get so used to listening to things like this. When you sit them down to read a book,
They don't have
and
a clue.
and that's, they've done studies. That's the way the mind develops. It will, when you have constant media, constant motion, it's hard for them to focus on one thing.
I think the whole thing with this this technology stuff, I think it handicapped a lot of people. Some of
Yeah.
us in
Yeah.
general.
Only time we remember is grandma.
It's so easy to research.
It's so
Information
easy for everything because I know when I was
Like
young,
now,
like
if
now,
I didn't know
Taylor.
if I didn't know a word, my mother would tell me to look it up.
Yeah, you go look it up.
And my son the other day asked me, "How do you spell something?" And then I said, "Man, look it up." And he said, "Siri, how do you spell?" And I was like, "Oh, that's not what I told you to do. Like, look it up, not as Siri."
Yeah.
But that's the difference. Like, I used to have to actually look things up in a dictionary.
I grew up, y'all older than me, but we all
man.
grew up with encyclopedias and stuff like that. in the house. Like,
Encyclopedias.
You know, man, stuff like that.
Say Dewey Decimal System for me.
That's yeah.
They don't know how to use a map.
No, nobody does use it. I mean, I think I lost the ability to use
Listen,
maps
I have a little sister that's 10 years younger than me,
Doing this.
and she can't go. She's lived in D.C. her entire life. She doesn't know how to go anywhere without putting it in Waze. She'll put anything in Waze, and I'm like,
It makes you dumb.
it makes you, and I'm like, I will not use GPS to find a place that I know. Like,
Right, yeah,
if somebody tells me I live in the 4221 31st Street, South Side,
But see,
okay.
but you know the city though. But you know the city, you have an advantage.
Bernard calling me. Why Bernard calling me?
You have an advantage.
Bernard, what's up?
So let's move on to the next.
What's up, man?
That's crazy.
Hey.
You got yours yet?
I got one.
All right, let's go.
Privatized space travel. That shit is crazy.
Okay.
Bernard,
My man,
we're on the show, and I'm gonna call you back when it's over.
Shit.
Well, shout out. But go ahead, Tom.
It's funny that nowadays things are being done by people in general, and it's really beautiful to see that somebody can say, hey, I've always wanted to go to space. So you know what? Guess what? I'm gonna take my happy ass to space.
There you go.
You know, and
That you can do it, yeah.
And at a bargain price that the government wants you to think that was something that was so unobtainable.
Yeah.
But here you got this dude doing it on his own dime.
Right.
And doing it 10 times better,
Yeah.
retrieving rockets.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. Like, we live in a really cool time.
Oh, no question.
I mean, when you say a bargain price, we also have to say that it's really like only a certain amount of people who can afford to go to space.
Well, yeah, but so what he's doing is something that, from what he says, you know, like.
But it's still the fact that you can put anybody, that anybody can go if they have 300,000.
Well, he's about to make it to the point where you can go for the cost of a regular plane ticket.
I'm with that.
I'm not going.
I am.
I mean, I just don't. I mean,
I am.
I'm not that adventurous.
I would go.
I am.
I'm not going.
I would go.
I know you'll go.
I would go
You're
just.
trying to jump like that BS man that say he jumped out of the damn.
I would go just so I
believe
could tell the people that I know that believe in the flat Earth.
Yeah.
So I can take a couple.
Don't get
So I
it
can take a couple
Oh,
pictures.
God. Those guys piss me off so bad, the flat earthers.
That's
man.
crazy.
They
So
make me
that'll be
angry.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I have some good friends
Nah.
who are.
You
who
already
are-
had your
I did
that's
not
crazy.
have my. That's crazy. I did not. What did I say to the
That's
that's
a good
crazy?
one.
He chimed in on it.
I
about
didn't
the
want to
wall.
chime in.
About the wall.
No, that was him.
No,
he just chimed in
yeah,
on everything. So
I
you
just
think he's
chimed
talking
in.
about?
But
If you think
my-
it is, because he's talking about
crazy.
everything.
My that's
Right.
crazy
Exactly.
is that in the year of our Lord 2019, it's people that believe that the world is flat. That will argue you down.
Yeah.
That and they come with all these.
That's where the waterfalls come from.
That the world is
You got proof that the world ain't flat?
Huh?
You got proof that the world is not flat? You have proof. I'm talking.
Do I have proof that the world is not flat?
Yes, I do.
Hey,
There's
what you
so
gonna do
much
with it,
proof that the
baby?
world is not flat.
Hey,
Time zones.
well,
Time. If the sun was on top of a flat Earth, then the sun would always be. There would be no difference between us and China.
Gravity.
Ask you a question. What should you say?
If you took a CD
That's why we
and put
stuck.
it in a dark room,
Spin it.
right? If you put a CD in a dark room on a table, right, and the CD acts as the Earth, and you just shine the flashlight. If you shine it from here,
Why you got it in his
if you
face?
shine it from there,
What's his flashlight in his
it's gonna reflect the same way. You know what I'm saying? So flat earthers are they're disgustingly ignorant to me.
And there's people who are high status or like monetary status anyways.
Yeah.
That believe this. And I'm like, I don't understand. How did you get to where you are if you believe this? Like,
I mean,
It
but
just
this
shows
people,
you can make money and you don't have to be smart.
But here's the thing about belief, right? Belief doesn't require any kind of proof.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So you really can believe. I mean, it's still people who still believe in religion. I mean, so belief, you don't need any proof
said
of
religion,
it.
right?
Yes, I said religion.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with believing in religion?
Well, I'm not saying. Hold on, I didn't say it was something wrong with believing in anything. I'm just saying
Right.
that you can believe in things. People believe in things,
But-
with no proof. I don't think there's something wrong with people who decide believe in. You want to believe the Earth is flat? It doesn't change it. It's not going to change that scenario one bit. So my point is, you asked me what's wrong, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with anything. I'm just saying that people who, when you talk about belief, I never argue belief with anyone. I will argue facts, but I'm not going to argue belief because you can believe anything.
So my question to you is, do you think that someone believing in a flat Earth is the same as someone believing in Jesus?
I think it's just as absurd. Well, I don't want to.
No, just no.
Okay,
no.
to me personally,
Yes.
I think that when you believe anything and you have not researched that information and what the facts present themselves with. Now, if you're saying that you want to dispute the fact that you don't think that information is authentic or you don't think that information is correct and manufactured, my man Trump fake news type situation, then that's fine. But when you talk facts, if I sit down and talk facts with anybody that's religious and reasonable, I have the facts.
So
That's it.
I believe you when you tell me that his name is Darnelli.
But it is.
And I have not done any research on that. But I believe you when you say his name is
Ask
Darnelli.
him, is there an E on the end of his name on his birth certificate?
there is not.
Okay. Now he's lying. So this is what we
I
want.
am not lying.
Okay, so bring your birth certificate next week.
I will.
Where's your ID?
I just think we went along.
Is this a birth?
Let me see
Is
that.
this a birther thing?
This is a birther thing.
Let me see your ID.
So
I
anyway,
got good people out here looking at him and investigating him right
Yeah,
now.
it's good. It's good. He had a good action.
yeah, but I dropped
That
it
thing was
because
awesome.
he started trying to make him nervous about me dropping.
Fooling with this asshole.
I'm glad.
Fooling with this asshole. You know, that's like when you want some candy.
Okay, so we
You know,
let's
quick.
Let's hit back
right
in
quick.
second.
You know how you know somebody got one little piece of candy or they got a little piece of sandwich that you look like that look good as shit, and they drop it. That's how I feel about my ash, man. I heard Doc say something about my string, and it just disappeared.
Is that why my poker table got all those burns in it? Because
That's
you feel
Marty.
that kind of
That's
way
Marty.
That's
behind
Marty.
it?
Everybody knows that's
Burns
Marty and
all over
Pony.
the
That's
goddamn-
not me.
Well, Bobby said it was you. You heard him. He
not
yelled that
me.
all the way over there. You tell it to Bobby. You looking at me some days like
That's
me.
not
Hey,
me.
look.
No way.
But back at it.
Let's do the cigar.
Back at it.
I dropped my ashes on the floor, not on the
Lumi, it's
table.
time for the next cigar. Check in, sir. Thank you.
I'm waiting for him.
I love this guy, man. I swear I do. I'm gonna burn his ass like D on Good Times. Again, CAO Basin is dynamite, man. I love it, and I will not take as long as I have to smoke another one. It's consistent in the burn. If those are watching, they show me little strings, and flavor definitely. The flavor picks up. It's picked up again, and it's a consistent cigar. Good made, well made cigar.
This Grand Habano is still smooth as the other side of the pillow, and this black feather pairs fantastic with it. Rob Diddick, shout out to you, my man.
Jim.
If you wanna, like I said, if you need a
Jeremy
6'5" big guy from DC, if you're looking for another big, I can step in there too.
He got you.
I got you. I think I might be a little bit funnier than the first one, but let's go.
Well, I don't drink, but if you're looking for a 6'5" guy who's handsome from DC,
Smooth.
I'm your guy.
I'm the 6'5" handsome guy. He's just an old police guy.
Okay, back to the Oscar. The Oscar is still smoking smooth. It doesn't build a lot. It stays consistent. Gets a little bit, not rough, but a little bit tougher as you go on, but it's still a great smoke.
When you say tougher, you mean
It's a little, it doesn't, yeah, the flavor, it's not harsh. The body, I'm trying to describe it, it doesn't have the body stays consistent, it's just a little strong.
Okay.
Just a little strong.
well, my Padermo is just this thing is just delightful, man. I mean, consistent. It smokes good. It burns well. I mean, it draws great. I mean,
I should have got the Perdomo.
yeah, it was a really good stick. I recommend this stick to anybody.
Let me see
And a
that.
little
Is
full, medium to full.
Still spicy? Or
Spice kind of burned off, but I
Burned
think
off.
what happened was the black feather, the pairing with the black feather, it actually took some of the spicy away, and that finishes with a slight sweet tone.
It's nice.
Yeah, it finishes with a it's not your bourbon that hits you and then you feel it burning.
Like
It's
that
not
burn.
that.
No.
It actually finishes slightly sweet. And it's just perfect with this thing, man. And I don't even really drink like that anymore, but I'm definitely going to get another hit of that.
I got
no
you.
question, man.
You guys can hold on to them bottles if you want.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll be
already doing that.
Already.
I'll be talking to you privately about that one.
I got you.
You already know.
I'm ready for my close-up. Nah, but the Tabernacle, man, spicy, man, flavorful all the way through, man. Stumbled up on this cigar, man. Wanted something different. Went into a cigar place and I seen it. I
Yeah,
bought it,
good.
smoked
I
it.
had one earlier.
Spicy. A lot of flavor, man. And so, to me, I recommend it to anyone. I recommend it to my man. Gave him one last week, and he enjoyed it.
You ain't give me one, though.
I tried. I forced it on him, but I kept telling him.
Good stick. I had one earlier.
But I know the type of sticks he like, and it's a full body stick.
I had one earlier.
It's not full body, but it's not a triple Maduro full.
Right.
But it's a good stick.
It ain't a Lingario. You ain't getting that Lingario. You ain't getting that bump.
But again, with this black feather, you want a 4 foot tall, handsome black guy? I'm 4 foot.
He said 4 foot.
I'm your guy.
Me and the bottle almost the same size.
Almost. I got the bottle about that much.
With a tabernacle.
With a tabernacle. Yes, sir. That's it.
My Gurkha's picking up some spice towards the end, getting a little hot, but still good smoke. I can feel it on the lips a little bit now.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely picking up the spice.
That's what I was gonna say about it. I enjoyed it till about a little past halfway. It got hot. Okay. It did get hot. But you know, it was nice.
Yeah. Which Gurkha is that again?
Same Gurkha. He got us to 18.
Oh, 18.
Yeah.
18. Is that the 18 cabinet?
18 years.
18 years. Yeah, 18 years.
Okay. But I noticed I noticed a couple times you really don't smoke your cigars down.
But I guess.
That's the first one for them. I guess you might be alive.
I don't like to get them too because they do get hot.
Yeah, you don't like
but that one got hot fast.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do like the beginning of a cigar a bit better than the backside because they do lose their smooth that smooth. I like that.
So when the junk got short, you didn't like to hit it. You didn't get. I'm good.
Yeah. I ain't the guy with the tweezers.
He need to play cards with Marty. Marty would finish that.
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the dude that used to be here? So there used to be a dude here that when you left your cigar,
Jim.
he would take all the old cigars. That's his name, Jim. He would take your cigar, like if I left this cigar here with that much left, when he cleaned the ashtray, he would take the cigar, chop the end, and he would smoke the rest of the cigar, man.
I do not like the way cigars taste after I chop them. Like,
Yeah.
I just think you pull all that stuff through. If I'm done with my cigar, I'm not relating.
Okay.
You know, like not like just now to get it started again, but after it's sat for a minute,
I will relight a cigar when I get home. Like if I finish one here, I may take it home and I'll relight it and sit on the porch.
I relit one the next day. Really? But James told me a trick.
yeah, it's just the flavor I get
That
off.
when you if you know you're not gonna finish a cigar, he told me you blow
Blow the
blow
out.
smoke
Yeah,
through,
yeah, blow through.
and then cut it.
You
Just
blow
like in the
the
beginning.
You blow the stale smoke out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And if you haven't done that, what you can do is all of that burn that's in it, take the time and take it out and then cut it off. And when you first light it, instead of drawing through, blow through.
That's one of the beliefs. Do you really think that works?
Yes, it does. It does.
I should probably look up the facts
You
on
actually
that.
blow the smoke back out.
Stan said that's one of those belief things. Do you really think that works?
What you're doing is
Every time I relight my cigar, it tastes the same to me.
You don't get anything bad from
I
it.
get a little campfire out of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, whenever I relight it tastes a little spicy.
Mine tastes a
Yeah,
little
little
stale. That's my
stale.
problem.
Stale is-
Yeah.
Do you know, since you brought up stale, man, the shit was funny to me, but I didn't know what stale was until I was like 19 years old. I was in the military, and the chick I was living with at the time that was later on to became my first wife. We were eating cereal, and I was eating the cereal.
Oh, okay.
And when I went to offer her some of the cereal, she let me get a bite. She bit it, was like, this cereal's stale. I kept on eating. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Because in my house, when I grew up, you don't know what stale is. You
Yeah.
just
Keep
you
eating
can't
it.
throw that away. That's what you
Exactly.
know.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
throw that away. But
Put some water in
yeah,
there.
that was funny to me when I
Get your ass
when I'm
whooped.
doing
The
that.
phone
Yeah.
wasn't hanging around the house long enough to get stale.
Yeah, and I didn't grow up like, everything was not a great upgrade. But my parents from Texas, they're 85 and 84 now. My mom.
Wow,
shout out to my mom,
congratulations.
she just turned 85.
Congratulations, my dudes.
Yeah.
My love.
But they grew up in a completely different time than us. Like,
Oh,
you
no
know,
question.
Everything was saved, and they still keep those same, things going now. Like, they don't waste anything. It's if they can't buy it cash, they're not going to put it on credit. That's just their thing, and I think that's the cause, because I think they're in such good shape because of this.
Right.
But it's every part of their life. It's made them where they are. So.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
No, well,
Oh, you said good.
okay. I gotta go. I gotta pick up my son.
All right, well, thanks for hanging out with us, man. We're gonna say bye.
Money road.
Real thing.
Better plans. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Put your chair up.
Change your
Metro
depends.
says,
Change your
see
depends.
something, say something.
I'll slide around here and get a better shot. They ain't saw me all day, so here. Hey, Rob.
You
Jeremy,
can tell he an old guy.
Jeremy.
He brush his head one direction.
look at that smile.
Look at this.
That's a commercial right there.
Man, do yourself a favor and don't put that guy in on that product.
I was going to say, because I know the fan thing, but he just messed that all up.
You said what?
He made that black feather look terrible. On
See, bro.
Sales will be on 1,000. I'm handsome as shit.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good.
I may be fat, but I'm handsome.
You like it? You like
I
it?
thought it was pretty good.
So what you should do is have him come up there and do your sign thing.
Well, you
He can do your sign thing on the side.
I'll come do it.
But you got to dress him up in a cow. You got to have a cow
Hey,
outfit
but
on.
listen, when I do it, when I'm throwing the sign up, I'm giving big hip thrusts.
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
They get all hip thrusts.
Hey,
Come get this barbecue and free Richard.
Hey, anything worth doing is worth doing right. You know
No
what I mean?
question. No question.
You buy 1 pound of brisket and you get free Richard with it.
Hey, let me ask you a
moving
question.
on.
Let me ask you a question. I'm not a Gucci wearer. I don't buy Gucci products. But have you all heard about the sweater? They stopped selling it. However, it's sold out. That's the catch. They claim they stopped selling it, but if you go online and say it's sold
They
out.
gonna sold them.
No,
Fill them all.
because they took a lot of it off the shelf.
I haven't seen it. I haven't
They
seen
took a
it.
lot of it off the shelf.
I mean, well,
idea.
first of all, let's be real. Gucci is not, Target. They don't make a lot of that one
Exactly.
thing. You know what I mean?
You a
So-
Gucci
What's
wearer?
up?
I am not a Gucci wearer.
Okay.
I like my camo.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Gucci's not big in the camo department.
But I'm not Gucci gang.
Maybe they should get into it.
I'm not Gucci gang.
Okay.
He said Gucci gay.
Say that one more time.
I'm Gucci gang.
Say it one more time.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci
Yeah,
gang.
so I'm gonna drop in and just so everybody else is on the same page. I don't know what we're talking about.
Okay.
Like I don't know the current subject with why we're talking about Gucci.
Okay.
So what's up with the Gucci sweater? Why we talking
I'll
about
pull it up for you. I'll pull it up for you.
I don't know if it was a monkey,
A Sambo face or something.
Sambo face or something, black face type thing that they put on a sweater or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
And they say come up over your nose. It comes to your nose, but
Yeah,
the top of
and
the
then-
sweater had big red lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think today's day and age people would think before they do. So what bothers me about all those campaigns, if there's a campaign that is that I see that is messed up on any level,
No question.
there is a team
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot
of
of
very educated people
Yeah.
that are in these positions.
These are not accidents.
No.
Yeah.
These things are very
Get
deliberate.
the fuck out.
Let me see it, because I haven't even seen it. I just heard about it. That's insane, man.
You see that shit?
No, that's crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So
Well,
what?
they ain't surprised with Gucci, but that's the
The
type of
9-year-old probably sewed up.
Yeah. And some sweatshop for
So
pennies.
I guess my bigger issue is that it got to the point of selling without anyone saying,
No,
What do you
wait,
think
no,
of-
no.
hold on.
Not only did it sell, but you just showed me a picture of an obvious, like photo, like studio,
marketing stuff.
like somebody did a photo shoot,
that's what I'm saying. It
And
got
then
to that point without anyone saying,
and then a
this is
catalog.
fucked up.
Yeah, so like who you got working for you?
Well, it's not that. What the bigger issue is that these people knew that this would sell to their demographic. So that's the biggest problem. So you make something that doesn't sell because people say, hey, listen, I'm not going to partake in that. These people did their market analysis, and you know this.
Yeah.
These people did their market analysis, they did their trends, they did all these different studies, and they had, the little test groups that came in and thought, and still said that regardless of how this looks, we know people who will buy this, regardless of how it offends. And me personally, I think some of this piggybacks off of, the Trump thing, how it has emboldened people to do more ridiculous things, more, racist, inappropriate. I'll say inappropriate.
Have you guys heard about the Willy Wonka tickets that these guys were giving out at one of the schools? I can't remember where the school was.
Okay.
But it was a Willy Wonka ticket.
So this is Chris's. That's crazy.
Are you
basically.
talking about it in Churchill High School?
I think so.
Yeah,
It's the one where it
Churchill
gave
High
them-
School, Churchill.
So you got this Willy Wonka ticket, and it gave them the ability to say the N-word.
It's a Churchill High School in
Yeah,
Montgomery
yeah.
County.
See how his story.
I'm just adding to it.
I don't hear it. Let me get it from him.
And literally, it gave them the ability to say, the N-word anytime they wanted to, at random, for however, I don't have the length or period of time.
Okay.
But that's crazy. And then they interviewed people. Of course, everybody in the ethnic groups were like, that's crazy. Like, it's racist. And then they showed one guy who was an ethnic group.
Right.
And he said, well, it wasn't really meant to be racist. I'm like, how can you not when there was a kid? So I give him the benefit of the doubt that he just doesn't know how the world works. Because anybody else can tell you it's racist. Like, I don't care what anybody says about that word. There's a connotation to that word. That
Everybody
means
understands.
that everybody understands.
Yeah.
They know what it means. And it
Absolutely.
wasn't like they were giving it to everybody. There was a select group of people they were giving it to. So
Now, but you say that was in where?
It was at Churchill High School.
Churchill High School. My sons was going to Anne Arundel High School 4 years ago. And they had this same type, they had a petition going around. Some kids signed a petition that said they want the right to use the N-word. Now, they got to one of the students, one of the Caucasian students, and she said that this is inappropriate. She took it like she was going to take it and sign it, and she was like, I'm going to share it with my friends, and she actually took it to the principal. And they brought all the students that signed it in. They had people come from the county executive offices and all that good stuff and come down, and we had this big, whatever you call it, where they have you all come in.
Town hall meeting.
Yeah, they had the parents and let them know, hey, this happened. We need to come in and let's talk about this.
That's exactly what should have happened with the Gucci
With the
campaign.
Gucci campaign.
But you know what's killed me?
That's
But
still
Sweetback, what has killed me about this Gucci campaign is I'm on social media, but on social media is where it blew up. And you see so many people that I have a lot of white friends who have said, well, what's the difference between this and white chicks? Right? Like in white chicks, the Wayans brothers dressed up in whiteface. But my point is, if you can't see, I'm not white, but as a white person, if you can't see the difference in whiteface and blackface, if you can't see the difference in that blackface and saying nigger, I'm not gonna say the N-word because all me saying the N-word is gonna make you say nigger in your mind. So let's just say it, it's nigger. That's what we're talking about. That word is tied to the subjugation and the degradation of an entire race, where cracker isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say you can't equate nigger to cracker, because if he calls you nigger, it's a totally different experience for you than if you call him cracker. And I'm not saying that you call him cracker is good, but it's two totally different experiences.
The data
you know what I'm saying?
that follows, all the data, the history with it is not.
But that's what I'm saying. That there's not the subjugation, degradation that goes along with it, and the connotation. So to put white chicks and blackface together is a false equivalence at best, and a racial undercurrency at worst.
And on that word, I don't care who uses it. Personally, I don't use it just because I feel if I use it, that perpetuates that. And not my parents, but All my family's from Texas. That word gets thrown around, and it's a lovely term. It gets thrown around all the way. But personally, I choose not to use it just because if I don't use it, I don't expect anybody to use it. That's just how I feel about it. But I would never tell anybody to stop using it. You know, if that's what they want to do. I would definitely say don't use it towards me in a negative way.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a
You don't
problem.
want me to come down there because it'll be chitty bang.
Chitty bang bang.
I love the guy.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my personal.
So my that's crazy is, it was crazy that this substitute teacher told her students that Martin Luther King committed suicide.
But don't just start with that. You have to tell her that she also said that the kid dressing in sweatpants and a sweatshirt, he was dressing like a criminal. That was the first. She said you're dressing like a criminal. It was.
What was this?
This happened just the other day for yesterday, last week or something like that.
No,
Day
it
for
happened
yesterday.
this week.
It's like this week, and one of the kids went home. But this is why it's so important for parents to ask your kids about their day. Talk to them about what's going on in their day. Ask them what they learned today.
And not just about the class, but like, who'd you sit with at lunch?
Yeah.
Like, who are your friends? Like, who was bugging you in class? Or like, things are surrounded by the day that you don't normally think of.
Yeah.
Was there anything that stuck out in your head that bothered you that you want to talk about? Because kids don't talk about a lot.
Right.
You know, they don't.
And they're not really observant of a lot.
And they don't understand what's bad.
They don't understand a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a quick like story that I went through. When I played football in high school. I was a pretty well recruited athlete. I went to visit the University of Illinois. Lou Tepper was the head coach. So when you go on your visit, you go through this thing. Then the last thing you do, you meet with the head coach. So I'm sitting in his office, and he's telling me that I have 54 white players. I have 54 black players. And your first year, you have to live with if you're black, you live with a white guy. And your first 2 years on the road, if you're black, your roommate on the road is white.
Like, remember the type.
And every meeting we have,
Great move.
Yeah.
I like that.
every meeting we have is if you're black, you can't sit next to a black guy. So it's black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white, all the way through. My question to him, I said, well, I don't see anything wrong with that, but you got 17 coaches and you only got 2 black coaches. Why do you only have 2 black coaches if like all the players got to be black, white, black, white, black, white, and it's even? Why only 2 black coaches? And
That's a good argument.
he didn't have an answer for me. He just said, well, I just get the best people for the job. And then when I got home and I talked to my mother about it, and my mother had all these, probing questions like, well, why is this? And then she called him, and she had all these questions for him, like, well, why are all these things this way for players, but you're not representing the players on your coaching staff? Where real changes happen.
Because that's to suggest that when you say something like that, and when you say I employ the best talent, that's to say that
Black
you
people are
could
the
not
best
you
talent.
could not find anybody black that was qualified for these jobs, and this is just not true.
And that's so
that's just
what I'm
not
saying is,
true.
as a 17-year-old, I didn't have the intellectual capability to say, well, if you're going through these steps to make sure that all your talent on the field is the same, why wouldn't you go through these same steps to make sure your talent on the coaching staff is the same?
Basically, lead by example.
Right. So that was my point, that some people don't know. You know what I'm saying? So the kids may not know. I didn't know. Like, my only question was, if everything is 50-50, then why isn't your coaching staff 50-50? Why are there only 2 black coaches out of your 17? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's like, what is it, 2 black coaches in the NFL now? What is it?
Head coach.
Head coach. I'm not from head coaches.
Yeah, it's only 2.
It's like 2 now. So that number hasn't changed. Pretty much.
Luckily enough,
Go ahead.
my uncle, Prentice Williams, first black coach of the Texas Longhorns.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's your uncle?
It was my uncle. Yeah.
What's up? You give me some tickets?
Prentice Williams. He's passed away.
What I gotta do now?
And
He was the first.
No,
You
right?
say he was the first
No.
black coach.
No.
So he was like a.
first black lines coach. He was a head coach. But
He was a head coach.
Was not a head coach. Was a lines
He's
coach.
the line
Okay,
coach.
okay.
He's the line coach.
But yeah,
Well, for Texas,
for Longhorns.
a
Yeah.
black coach in Texas is big.
Yeah, really big, huge, huge. Yeah, we're talking. Don't quote me 60s. I have to talk about mom, but we're talking
Okay.
60s, 70s.
Yeah, wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
That's what's up.
Shout out. Dang. Wow, that's amazing.
All right, so
We can
at
phase
this
it up.
point, we do the last cigar check-in, and at this point, all you pretty much do is you just say, give it how many torches. So 5 torches, it's great. 1 torch is garbage, not so great.
I thought we were doing 4.
4?
What wasn't 4?
No.
It's 5.
4 was
4 was because
very good. 5 is outstanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was scoring on a 1 to 4.
No, because you
yeah.
gave something a 4.2. didn't you?
No, 3.2.
3 gave it 3.2.
And then
It should have been
So
5.
remember, we equated it to Uber ratings, like where Uber makes you give a 5 for just a good ride,
Right.
but a 4 could be a good ride.
I like to do the decimal.
5 should be a outstanding.
There's
He's the point guy.
there's a lot of cigars out there,
A lot.
and if you're gonna grade all of them,
Everything can't be a 5.
nah.
But you got to think about this. Let's put this in some kind of context. So you're rating this. So you wouldn't rate a Hyundai against a Benz,
Yeah, well,
right?
shit.
No, you wouldn't. But
Why
anyway,
not?
If it was
well, what I'm saying
a
is
Hyundai Equus,
a comparable car. If I was looking for a Hyundai Sonata, and I was looking for a car that would be the equivalent to that car would be a Camry, maybe.
But
So
there's pros and cons because
Right.
with the Hyundai you getting with the price value.
well, I think we losing this goddamn point time. It ain't about the damn Hyundai. It's about making sure we comparing
apples to
apples to apples. So when we say so we don't want to compare this and say this compared to a Patron 64th anniversary. What is this compared? No, this based upon that your Gurkhas on what Gurkha's competing with.
I was gonna give Gurkha a 3.
Man, that's crazy. That's same here.
Really?
3.
Yeah.
You know what?
middle of the road.
I can see you guys might be like
This is my dude.
twins, man. For real, man. Yeah.
So is that
Oh, we don't
oh,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hold on,
I know
hold
how
on,
to
hold on.
do.
Is that a 3 based on 1 to 4 or 1 to 5?
5.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I know
Middle
this
of the
dude a
road.
long time.
What's your rating 3? What's your rating on your cigar?
I'm saying 4 to me.
Okay. I would give this Patron a 4.2.
Perdomo.
Perdomo, I'm sorry. I said Patron. Thank you, sir. This
I'm gonna go get a
Perdomo.
Padron.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do. Right
Yeah.
Patron?
Yeah.
So
Get 2 of them. Go ahead.
You want one?
I do.
I do too. I'm going to say that this Grand Habano, because of the price point,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4.3.
Yeah.
Because it's a great stick. It's a very, very good stick,
Yeah.
and the price point
at that one.
puts it over the top.
Yeah, no question.
And it's a very good price.
Absolutely,
Is it
price
the same
point.
price range?
Can I ask you a question though?
Yeah, oh, no
So,
question.
Since we're on this point system from 1 to 5, right? Could you ever have a cigar you would rate a 5?
Yes.
I will rate the so Punch has a Grand Puro, okay, and for the price point, I would give that cigar in that price point range a 5.
So I'm just saying. Okay,
What,
without
do they
hold
have it here?
up.
Yeah, they have it.
Without the
Can you
price
show it
point.
to me?
Hold up, without the price point.
Huh?
I'm just saying.
Can you show it to me?
Texture, whatever the case may be. Without the price
Yeah.
point.
I'm not doing price
Well, you
point.
have to. Well, the reason why you have to consider.
I'm not doing
One of the
price
reasons why
point.
you have to consider price point is because the complexity that goes into one cigar. It's like the same way as wine. If I'm rating a Margot, let's say I'm looking for great wines under $20. right? That's gonna be completely different rating than wines that I paid $135 for, or a $750 Margot and a $69 Margot are not going to drink the same. But among $69 Margos,
Yeah, one is great.
this one is great.
But if you have a $69 Margot that can compete with a $120 Margot, that has to be a 5
That has to be a 5
at the Margot.
at the Margot level. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why I said
this
it.
CAO Basin is definitely a 4.5 for me. Definitely.
But Ash tells me that. It's good.
It is.
A CAO Basin.
Yeah.
Hard to get. Hard to get.
And we about to
Good
wrap
stick.
up.
My 5 is
We gonna no
Again.
question.
So I haven't. That's my Opus X. I haven't got into it yet. So
I love my Opus X is my
Mine is
5.
Opus X is a 5.
Now, this is what I want to. I'm glad somebody brought up that Opus X.
Fuente.
I never had it.
Listen,
Fuente.
have you had the Andalusian Bull?
No.
5. Andalusian Bulls are 5.
Where that? It got one here?
They do
don't
not
have one here.
That's a 60 gauge.
I will get
No,
one for
it's
you.
about a 54.
I will get one for you, and you put that against your. I don't want the wrappers on. All right. So you're not constantly reminded. You put that. Now both of them are. LFD is the Andalusian Bull.
okay.
My man.
I don't mess with rappers.
That cigar should be $30.
Let me ask you this.
Now LFD, that don't mean jump your ass out there and raise the price on me.
How did you like the LFD Super Bowl cigar?
It was good, but I would
I got about 4 coming. 4 or 5.
Yeah, shout out to my man Adrian and Scottish Cigars Lounge in Atlanta and Buckhead, who made sure Adrian got his box. But man, listen, that cigar smokes really well. It's really, really good. Now, it's not as good as the Andalusian Bull, but it's a good stick.
So I would put the Andalusian Bull in my top 5. I put the Opus X in my top 5. I put the Padron 1926 #1 in my top 5. I put
Which company's bought some
Rocky Patel 50th anniversary in my top 5.
Because he got his Lost Cities off of Cigar Beds.
Really?
For like $18 a piece. And that's a great price for that stick. Yeah, shout out to Cigar Beds too, man. But I do want to wrap. We wrapping this up.
CAO Basin 4.5 all day.
I want to wrap this up with
All
a
day.
correction from last week. I told Pony that Utz made the best salt and vinegar potato chips, and he swore up and down that these. No, he said Martin's. I went and found some Martin salt and vinegar potato chips. I meant to go back. I ran out of time tonight. I was going to bring a couple of bags and put them on the table so y'all can taste these shits. My man.
I love it.
Utz cannot. Utz, look, I love you, and I love all your chips. But Martin does salt and vinegar better.
You cannot debate a fat guy about food.
No, this is what I'm gonna do. No, this is what I'm gonna do. Next week, next week we're gonna do a potato chip tasting. And we're gonna have people taste blind taste.
They're not called UTZ. They call UTZ.
They call UTZs. So we're gonna do a blind potato chip tasting next week of the salt and vinegar chips.
Yes, sir.
All right, hey, listen, thanks for tuning in, man. We appreciate y'all. And shout out to
Rob Drink Life.
Rob Deere.
Drink Life. CAO.
Hey Rob, if you need a new big, I got you.
My man. Salute.
Affiliate Cigars, the best in the country.
Yeah, Rob, I miss my man Big Sexy with him too,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Miss my man Big Sexy, man.
Hey, may he rest in peace.
Hey, your man, David Murray. Rest in peace, man. His family.
That's the man.
To his family.
Big Sexy.
To your family, man. All love.
And let's not forget to thank, man, Bobby and James.
And Philly on
from
Cigar
Philly.
Lounge.
Willie Bobby.
I'm toast of Philly on Cigar
Philly on,
Lounge.
Philly on.
Making all this possible, dog. Yes, indeed.
Appreciate you.
All right,
Appreciate
till next
the
Chris.
love.
That's all it's
Hey,
Next chop.
I appreciate everything
Next
about the
chop.
briskets.
Hey, good meet. Hope to see you again, Holmes.
Absolutely.
Hope to see you again.
I will definitely be here.
My man.
Tune in next week.
Till next week. We out.
Hey,
Next week, Sweetback is bringing brisket.